Hey guys, I got a treat for you guys today, especially you fans of the little bit older stuff. Take a look at this puppy. 1940 Ford Coupe. Now this belongs to a friend of mine. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can get a better look at it. This belongs to a friend of mine. He's had this for over 20 years. It was originally built by a company called Street Rods by Michael, which is a Tennessee-based hot rod shop, and it's had a complete replacement chassis. It's got the Ford 9-inch rear. It's got a stroked out 350 Chevy that's out to 400 cubic inches, making lots of horsepower. Which is nice, which is great. But what's really great about the car is just how immaculate it is. This is 20-year-old paint and body. Doug, who's as I happy to call a friend of mine, is he's very particular. He dotes on his baby. He spent a lot of time looking for it and found it and built it, and it's really it's a class act. It's just a super nice car, and I've got to work on it a couple of times over the years. Today it's just in. We've just been setting up the ignition timing. We've got that set where we want it now, and it's happy. And which we'll take it for a test drive later. And if we're lucky, Doug will show you just how happy it is. So, can we get a look under the hood, Doug?
Sure.
Oh yeah, it's very, very hard to fault. When I say very hard, I can't do it. It's got vintage air, some really nice subtleties. They had to step back the firewall a little bit, which they did in a two-step kind of setup here, which retained the original swages in the firewall, and that those little rolled grooves in the upper firewall, which just keeps it looking all original. It looks like this car came, maybe not with a small block Chevy, but came with a distributor at the back motor. But this was a flathead V8 originally, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Suntac, like the old days.
Yep.
Had it in the attic.
Old school Suntac.
Sand cast rocker covers, not die cast.
Yeah.
Old Corvette air cleaner.
Yep, old school air cleaner, not a blingy one, but yeah. Even the block, I mean, this is the level of detail. The block and the intake and everything is powder coated, not just painted, which is why 20 years on, powder coated, sorry. Yeah, the powder coating is just as good as it looks, as good as it did the day it came out. And it's got an actual Walker radiator, which you can't even buy these anymore. That company's since closed. That was a $1,000 radiator 20 years ago, but it's exactly correct for this model car. Power steering, it's got the Mustang 2 front suspension in it. It's just an absolute darling of a car, but you just really can't find fault with it. Everything is detailed, everything's exactly as it should be. We head to the interior. The interior is been done specifically to match what it was in 1940. What have we got? And everything is just beautiful. All the right rubber along the running boards. Vulcanized on. Yeah.
Couldn't buy that back when we built it. Had a special place to do it.
Wow. Yeah. And I love the wheels on it. They're not big, big chrome blingy wheels. It's the steely wheels with the dog dish hubcaps. It's got even the gear shifter it's an auto shifter that looks like the original old manual, but it's auto. All the air conditioning vents are nicely integrated in. It doesn't not hanging out and in your face. It looks, you kind of got to look for the AC vents, which is nice. What do we got here? Isn't this original old ashtray back when they smoked. But even that fits nice.
First year of the window wing vents.
Okay, first year of the window wing vents, and they had no post here, did they? That's on the glass itself. Wow, I don't even like to touch it because you get fingerprints on it. it's that nice. And I mean, listen to the door shut. It's great.
First year to call the vent instead of the window tipping up.
Oh, okay.
39, the window tipped up.
39, so 39, the whole bottom of the window wound out.
Yep.
And they went to the vent, right? But I mean, again, the detail that fits probably better than it did in 1940, would be my guess. And the stance on it is, to my eye, just right. Obviously, it's quite a bit lower than the original ones were, but it's got a sensible mix of the big and littles. You know, it's certainly higher profiles in the rear. Oh yeah, it's just an awesome car. So, can we see in the trunk, Doug? Just to. Oh, it's all right. I mean, Doug drives this. It's not. This is not as he would display it at a show. This is how he drove it in this morning. Now I heard it coming. So yeah, he's got some stuff in there, and that's okay. But everything is just lined out.
The spare tire used to fit up in front of that.
Oh, okay, like vertically.
Yes.
Yep.
And now the battery and the CD player and all in an area behind the seat.
Behind that panel.
Show you there's something really neat.
Okay, let's take a look. Oh, okay. Wow, look at this, guys. Huh, so the whole upright of the back of the seat, the seat just hinges up, and you've got all this storage area down here. That's where your CD stacker is. That's if anybody's got any CDs anymore. Well, that's a neat little feature, isn't it? You know, wouldn't have it? Is that where they used to put the moonshine? That in the truck. That is very cool. That is very cool. All right. Well, we're going to close this thing up and take it for a test drive, which I'm looking forward to. So I'll be back in a second, guys. All right, here we go, guys. One gorgeous 40 Ford Coupe. Say hi to the folks, Doug.
Hey, hi. We call it the 40.
The 40. They weren't designed to do that. That's what, how many horses is it again? 400? 400. 408 stroked out 350 small block. Yeah, that'll, and I don't think that was really hard up it, was it? Was that just getting after it somewhat? Not fully?
No,
yeah.
It was not on the floor.
Not on the floor. Nice. So that's enough to get you in trouble, should you want to get in trouble.
It's a 406 making 400 pounds of torque at 2,300 RPM.
400 foot-pounds at 2,300 RPM. Wow.
457 pounds at 3,500.
457. Wow.
Overdrive automatic.
Overdrive automatic, yeah. I gotta tell you guys, this drives so smooth. The worst wind noise is because I got the windows down. It is just silky smooth.
Yep.
Very little engine noise coming through. You can hear it more behind you than you can hear actually coming through towards you. Plenty of sound deadening, I'd say, in this old girl. But this is a very well put together street ride, and it was built by Street Rides by Michael, who's, you know, since passed, but you know, which is sad, but you know, this is his legacy lives on. And you know, riding this car riding in this car, you realise actually that guy, yeah, he was talented. He built a nice vehicle. So this is a treat. It is so, just feels so, I'm trying to put a word to it, but it's kind of like solid, like planted. It's not rattling and squeaking and
Nope. There is not a squeak in it.
no. There's a little tiny rattle coming from down there, down low somewhere. We're just actually trying to find or locate the faintest of rattles here that.
What was it weigh at 2,000?
It's probably an exhaust, might be just touching somewhere. I doubt you guys would have heard that. I had to really listen carefully to hear that, but I mean, Doug's a good friend of mine, and I think it's all right for me to say he is fairly picky. I don't think he'll be offended by that. But yeah, I mean, you just got to look at the car. Like, I mean, everything is gorgeous. He keeps it. If there's something wrong, it gets fixed. If there's something that he thinks might be going wrong, it gets fixed.
The interior is a LeBaron Bonney replica of the original interior. Every stitch, every thread, every piece is exactly the way Henry did it.
Wow.
They're no longer in business, so you can't get that. But I mean, the seat cover, everything, the wool, it's all exactly the way Henry did it.
In 1940.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
This was pretty luxurious back in the day, wasn't it?
It's wool.
Right.
Yep. The dash is the exact same color, and it's 30% flat, so it doesn't glare, which is what Henry did.
Huh.
All the screws are nickel-plated, slotted in, not Phillips.
Yeah, that'd be tempting to go with a Phillips, but.
Yep.
And look at that. Can you imagine that? All the screw heads line up.
Yes.
I'm sure that's just random. I doubt Doug would have done that on purpose. He says.
There is a company in the industry that makes all the bolts and nuts original for this car, and I spent $294 on original bolts, nuts, and screws.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not bad. And that's all original gauge cluster. That's all been redone, remanufactured,
Yeah.
and everything works perfectly.
Yes, it does. That took me a long time to get a 6-volt dash to work in a 12-volt system.
Yeah, it's not as easy as just throwing a voltage converter in it, is it?
That was on the floor.
That was on the floor. Yeah, well, it was wanting to go on with that too. Like you got off it. It wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hope you enjoyed that, guys. That was a real treat. I hope you find that to be a treat as well. Thank you so much, Doug.
Yes, you're welcome.
It is just a fine example of a. Gosh, how old is this thing now? 84 years old.
Yes. Yeah, and I've had it for 17 years.
17 years. So
18 years.
all right, guys. Well, there we go. I haven't really got much out. The car speaks for itself. There's really not a lot I can add. It is just gorgeous. All right, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.